Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 2, Part 3, written by William Shakespeare, which takes place at Belmont, a room in Portia's house. So here I begin. And before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If you haven't subscribed up till now, then please do and watch the video till end and press the like button if you have liked it. So now let us start Act 3, Scene 2, Part 3. In my last video, we had stopped where Bassanio has already made his choice and he reads the scroll where he is told to go and claim his lady with a loving kiss. So we have finished that speech and we are to begin with from Portia's speech. Portia, you see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am, though for myself alone. I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better. So Portia is a very modest woman. She is not proud of her wealth and beauty. So though Bassanio is nothing compared monetarily, he is a spendthrift. He is like the prodigal Christian living on borrowed money, and yet Portia just see how much respect she gives to him, and any other woman in her position would have felt collars high up, being a rich heiress and the most beautiful woman in the world. But no, she is so modest. And when Bassanio has won this casket, then what does she say? So you see, my lord, Bassanio, as I stand here regarding my own desires, I don't have any more ambitions to be better. To be better means I am perfectly satisfied with what I am, with my beauty, with my friends, with my money and everything. I am perfectly satisfied. I have no more ambition to become better, so far as I am concerned. But yet for you, I would be triple 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich. For your sake, I would want myself to be multiplied 20 times than what I am at present. So she would want to look 1,000 times more beautiful than what she is. You have seen already a little while earlier what Bassanio, looking at the portrait of Portia, how Bassanio had praised her portrait and then said that the portrait leaves far behind the original Portia. And now, for the sake of Bassanio, she wants to be 1,000 times more beautiful, 10,000 times more rich. And we know that she is a rich heiress. She has inherited a lot of wealth from her father. Yeah, I think this is a very logical because Bassanio is a spendthrift, and if she becomes 10,000 times more rich, I think it is good because he has a habit of spending money, and for Portia, it would be a right choice asking for 10,000 times more rich. That that only to stand high in your account, I might, in virtuous beauties, living friends, exceed account. Living friends exceed account. Yes, see how much more importance she is giving to Bassanio, who is neither a prince nor a duke, nothing. He is just a common Venetian scholar and a soldier. So they said, but this is love. When she is in love, she knows that this person, for the sake of this person, she wants to be much more than what she is. So she says that only to stand high in estimation of Bassanio. She wants to be more in her virtues. She is a virtuous woman. Bassanio has already described about her to Antonio. Remember in Act 1, Scene 1. But for the sake, in order to stand high in Bassanio's estimation, she wants to become more virtuous, more beautiful. She wants to be more rich, and she wants to have more influential friends, only to stand high in the estimation of Bassanio. But some full sum of me is sum of something which, to term in gross, is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. So she says that what I am in reality, what is my sum total, is that I am an unexperienced girl. I am untrained. I am unaccustomed in life. I think this is a very modest. We have seen Portia and we don't find any negative qualities in her. Neither do I find her unexperienced, untrained, unpracticed, and unaccustomed in life. Happy in this, she is not so old, but she may learn. So, why is she happy? She is happy because old people find it difficult to learn, but I am not so old that I cannot learn. I am young. I may be inexperienced. I may be unschooled, but I am happy because I am not old, so old that I cannot learn. That means I can learn and make myself high in your esteem. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. So that was happy, and now the comparative degree happier. So why is she happier? Because she is not a dull person, that she cannot learn. Dull person find it difficult to, very difficult to learn something. So why is she happier? Because she is not a dull person. She is a clever person. She can learn well. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commit itself to yours, to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king. This is what she had wanted when the thought of her marriage came to her mind. She had always wished with all her heart that what if Lord Bassanio comes? So he selecting the right casket, she is the happiest one. Why? Because Love Bassanio has chosen the right casket and became her lord, her governor, and her king. That is why she is the happiest. She has a soft nature which she entrusts to Bassanio to be guided. Now she regards him as her lord, governor, and king. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. So, what myself and all that I possess, they have now become yours, because he has won Portia, and with her, he has won everything that she possesses. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen over myself. So little while ago, before he made the right choice, she was the lady of everything. She was the master of lord of this fair mansion, the palace, the servants, and she was the queen of herself. She had all control over herself, and even now, but now, this house, those servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. All rights have been transferred to Bassanio. And how does she hand it over to Bassanio? I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose or give away. So, this is very important. Remember the ring. So, I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose or give away. Let it precede the ruin of your love and be my vantage to exclaim, or you. So she is telling that I surrender everything to you, or I hand over everything to you along with this ring. So this is the wedding ring she is giving to Bassanio. So if you part from this ring, if you lose it or you give it to someone else, then it will be a sign that you love me no more. And love for me is dead, and it will give me the opportunity to accuse you of being faithless. So, what does Bassanio say? Bassanio, Madam, you have bereft me of all words. So, what you said, it has deprived me of all my words. I am at a complete loss of words. Only my blood speaks to you in my veins, and there is such confusion in my past, as after some oration fairly spoke by a beloved prince, there doth appears among the buzzing pleased multitude, where every something being blent together turns to a wild of nothing, save of joy, expressed and not expressed. But when the ring parts from the finger, then parts life from hands. Or then be bold to say, Bassanio is dead. So Bassanio says, Oh, madam, I am at a loss of words. I don't know what to speak, as if bankruptcy of words. So only my blood, which is running in my veins, my blood thirsts to answer you. Verbally, I feel I am at a loss to express myself. So he says that there is some confusion in my parts, the same type of confusion in me as it happens after the speech given by a beloved prince, a very popular prince. He has given a speech. So, what happens after this? All the people, the spectator who are listening to the speech of the popular prince, they start murmuring words of applaud. Some say, Bravo. Some say, Well done. Some say, Please, once again, once more, once more. So, these are all positive remarks for Prince's speech, but all of them, they together become nothing. Nothing can be understood because they become blend together, but it can be understood that these are all positive remarks. So all the feelings, they blend into one, and what do they produce? State of an emotional state of pure happiness, expressed and not expressed, that is not expressed when it is not understood. But again he confirms that the ring which you have given me, I will take it as something precious, and it will never part from my finger. And if it parts from my finger, means I am dead. Only on my death, this ring I shall part from my finger. This is an irony. Soon you will get to see what happens in Act 4, Scene 1. At this moment, he is boldly exclaiming that this ring parts from my finger. He is bold to say that Bassanio is dead, but he doesn't die, and he has to part with the ring. Of course, it is because of Portia. Nerissa. my lord and lady, it is now our time that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper to cry good joy, my lord and lady. Naresa, a very nice attendant and a friend of Portia. So she wishes them, she congratulates them. She says, now it is the time we have understood, we have stood by, and we see in our wishes prosper. What? She had always wanted that Bassanio should win the casket and become the husband of Lady Portia. So she has seen her wishes prosper, and she is naturally wishing them, both of them, good joy. Now Gratiano comes with something startling. So what does Gratiano say? My lord Bassanio and my gentle lady, I wish you all the joy that you can wish, for I am sure you can wish none for me from me. So he has to say in a different way. So, my lord Bassanio and my gentle lady, all the joys which you can wish for yourself, I am wishing you all joys, all those joys. I know that you can never wish anything for me, and when your honors mean to solemnize the bargain of your faith, I do beseech you, even at the time I may be married too. So, when you all plan to get married, I have one request, that I should be allowed to get married at the same time. So, Bassanio says, with all my heart. So, thou canst get a wife? Yes, I allow you with all my heart. I give you my permission to get married at the same time, provided you find a wife for yourself, because in marriage you need to have a wife. Now see what Gratiano says. I thank you, your lordship. You have got me one. So he thanks Bassanio because Bassanio is instrumental in getting him a wife. So Bassanio is shocked. He doesn't understand. So he is explaining how it really happened. How is Bassanio instrumental in getting a wife? My eyes, my lord, can look as swift as yours. So he says, my eyes are also as swift in recognizing beauty. You saw the mistress, I behold the maid. You saw Portia, and I saw Nerissa, mistress and the maid. You loved, I loved. You loved Portia, I also loved Nerissa. For intermission no more pertains to me, my lord, than you. Nor it is our intermission a period of our waiting. Why? Both of them starts loving. One loves Portia while the other loves Nerissa. But there is a period for waiting, because nothing can materialize till Bassanio chooses the right casket. There is a period of waiting. No more pertains to me, my lord, than you. So it will not be agreeable to me than to you. Your fortune stood upon the caskets there. Your fortune depended upon the three caskets there. And so did mine too. So did mine too. Why? As the matter falls, as it appears, for wooing here until I sweat again, and swearing till my very roof was dry, with oaths of love, at last, if promise last, if I got a promise of this fair one here, to have her love, provided that your fortune achieved her mistress. So he is telling that my love also depended upon your choosing the right casket, because when I devoted all energies to offer my proposals of love and swearing my vows of my faithfulness till the roof of my mouth went dry, I got a promise from this fair one. If promises do last, what was the promise made by Nerissa? That she would accept this proposal. She would also love Graciano and agreed to get married to him provided Bassanio chooses the right casket and got Portia, that is one Portia. So Portia says, "Is it true, Nerissa?" To this Nerissa says, "Madam, it is. So you stand pleased with him?" "Yes, madam, it is true, provided you are pleased with it, provided you have nothing against it." Then Bassanio says, "And do you, Graciano, mean good faith?" So, Graciano, are you really serious in wanting to marry Nerissa? So, Graciano says, "Yes, faith, my lord." To this Bassanio says, "Our fee shall be much honored in your marriage." So Bassanio is very happy as Graciano was his good friend and says, "We feel that our marriage will be honored in adding your marriage also." But who comes here? Lorenzo and his infidel? What? My old Venetian friend Salerio? So in the midst of happiness comes a black cloud, which with a sad news. They were happy, both the couple, both the pairs were really happy, and then comes the bad news. What is it? So who are the ones who comes? Lorenzo and his infidel means the non-Christian, that means Jew, that is Jessica, and Lorenzo and Salerio. So here they have come. They have come with some sad news to impart coming from Antonio. So these three enters. Bassanio, Lorenzo and Salerio, welcome hither. Is that the youth of my new interest here? Have power to bid you welcome. So Lorenzo and Salerio, you are welcome to this place if I have the right, because he had just now won the casket of Portia. He has not yet been married. He had just come to know that he has become the lord of this place, and everything Portia has declared it. So if he has that much power to welcome these two, so he is welcoming them. If that the youth of my new interest here have powers to bid you welcome, so if my newly acquired rights have the powers to welcome you here in Belmont, let me welcome you. And then he tells Portia, "By your leave, I bid my very friends and countrymen, sweet Portia, welcome." So, sweet Portia, with your permission, let me welcome my friend and countrymen. So Portia says, "So do I, my lord. They are entirely welcome." So even she joins with Bassanio in welcoming them. Lorenzo, "I thank you, honor. For my part, my lord, my purpose was not to have seen you here, but meeting with Salerio. By the way, he did entreat me, past all saying nay, to come with him along." So Lorenzo explains his situations. He tells that, "Let me thank you, my honor. It was not my plan to come here, but what happened was that I met Salerio on the way, and he insisted me that I should come along with him. So see what Salerio has to say." "I did, my lord, and I have a reason for it. Signor Antonio commends him to you." So Salerio agrees. "Yes, my lord. I told him. I insisted he should accompany me, and there are reasons." Gives Bassanio a letter. Bassanio, I opened his letter. "I pray you tell me how my good friend doth." So Bassanio says that, "Before I open this letter, just tell me the condition of my best friend Antonio." So Salerio says, "Not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind. nor well unless in mine. His letter, there well slow you his state. So he is not physically sick, he is sick. It is in the mind, but you read the letter that will give you more information about his condition. Bassanio opens the letter. Graciano Nerissa, cheer, yon stranger, bid her welcome. So Graciano also he always copies Bassanio. So he tells Nerissa as a husband, not yet married, but he is exercising his rights. Nerissa, go and welcome that stranger. Who is he referring to? Jessica. So Nerissa goes and welcomes Jessica. Nerissa greets Jessica. Graciano salutes Salario. Johann Salario, what's the news from Venice? How doth that royal merchant, good Antonio? I know he will be glad to our success. We are the Jacksons. We have won the fleece. So he is asking Salario, what is the news that you brought from Venice? How is good Antonio doing? I'm sure he will be really very happy to know of our success, that Bassanio has been successful in winning Portia, and we are as if the Jacksons of the modern time. Why? Because we have won the golden fleece. Remember? In Act 1, Scene 1 also, Bassanio compares Portia to a golden fleece. So Salario is not in a very happy mood. So he says, I would you had won the fleece that he had lost. So Salario says, I wish you could have won the gold that he had lost. That means Antonio is bankrupt. Portia, she has been watching Bassanio from the time Bassanio has opened the letter and is reading it. So, what does she remark? There are some shrewd contents in your some paper that steals the color from Bassanio's cheeks. Some dear friend dead, else nothing in the world could turn so much the constitution of any constant man. What worse and worse with leave, Bassanio? So Portia guesses that there must be some very sharp news in this letter which has made Bassanio turn pale. So what could be the news? Has the letter brought the death of some very dear friend? Because nothing else would change the color complexion of a person to make him so pale. A person who is of a constant nature, he wouldn't become so pale reading a letter unless it tells some very sad news. And then she watches that Bassanio is getting paler and paler. She lays her hand on his shoulder, so reassuring with her hand on shoulder, with leave, Bassanio, I am half yourself, and I must freely have the half of anything that this same paper brings you. So, with your permission, let me remind you that you and I, we are two different people. We are one now. So, I must have a share of everything that all the news of this letter has brought to you. Bassanio. Oh, sweet Portia, here are a few unpleasantest words that ever blotted paper. So, my sweet Portia, some of very unpleasant words that were ever written on paper is written here. Gentle lady, when I did first impart my love to you, I freely told you about the wealth I had run in about you on the wealth I had run in my veins. I was a gentleman. And then I told you, true, and yet, dear lady, rating myself at nothing. So when I first expressed my love, then I said, I am a gentleman, a noble blood runs in my veins. Then I told you true. So that time I was speaking the truth, and yet, dear lady, rating myself to nothing. You shall see how much I was a braggart. And yet, my dear lady, when I said that I don't have any wealth, all the wealth which I have runs in my veins is a gentleman, then also I was bragging. When I said I am nothing, why? When I told you my state was nothing, I should then have told you that I was worse than nothing. That means nothing means a zero, and I was worse than nothing means that I am running in minus because he has borrowed money which was made by his friend a guarantor, by making his friend a guarantor. So 3,000 ducat, so worse than nothing. For indeed I have engaged myself to a dear friend, engaged my friend to his mere enemy, to feed my means. So, in order to provide myself with my resources, I have borrowed money from him. So, Bassanio is quite confused that how can this happen that Antonio, who was a rich businessman, he had so many argosies, and that all of them should collide with merchant marine rocks and get shipwrecked. This is an exaggeration. Earlier, remember, Antonio had said that they are in different directions. My goods are not traveling in one boat, they are not going in one direction. Can you expect that in every direction there will be a rock with which the ship can go and collide? So the information given in this speech is that all the ships of all the ships of Antonio have miscarried. Actually, it would have been the one expected to reach on time. Remember, he had that one of the ship should return in 2 months, that is, for 1 month prior to the expiry of bond, which would bring him thrice, that is, 3 times the money. It could be the most important ship on which he was banking, and that ship did not come. So he is at a loss to pay back the money. Here is a letter, lady, the paper as the body of my friend, and every word in it a gaping wound, issuing life, blood. But is it true, Salerio? Hath all his ventures failed? What? One hit from Tripolis, from Mexico, from England, from Lisbon, from Barbary and India, and not one vessel escaped the dreadful touch of the merchants' marine rocks? Bassanio hands over the letter to Portia and says, this paper is like my friend's body, and every word in it is a bleeding wound on that body. But is it true, Salerio? Have all his ventures failed? Not even one success? That is, not even one saved? He had ships to Tripolis, Mexico, England, Lisbon, North Africa, and India, and not one of these ships avoided the rocks. Salerio, not one, my lord. Besides, it should appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. So Salerio says, no, not even one. And besides, it seems that even Antonio had the money to pay it to Shylock. Shylock would not accept it because he wants his revenge. That was his plan. Never did I knew a creature that did bear the shape of a man, so keen and greedy, confound a man. So I have never seen a creature with a human form in a human form who is so keen and greedy to kill another or destroy another human being. He plies the Duke at morning and at night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state. If they deny him justice, 20 merchants, the Duke himself, and the magnificence of the greatest sport have all persuaded with him, but none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his blood and his bond. So, what has Sherlock been doing all this time? He goes on troubling the Duke at morning at night, and he also threatening the Duke that the freedom of the state will be in danger if they do not give in justice. So 20 merchants, the Duke himself and many famous people of Venice, they had gone to persuade him to retract from this type of demand, but no one can persuade him to give up his demand for the penalty of forfeiture of justice. So he is adamant, he is stubborn that I will have my penalty and the forfeiture. Jessica, when I was with him, I have heard him swear to Tubal and to Chess, his countrymen, that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that he did owe. And I know, my lord, if law, authority, and power deny not, it will go hard with poor Antonio. So even Jessica confirms that Celerio has said what Celerio had said. So she is telling, yes, when I used to stay with him, I had heard him confide the two of his friends. One is Tubal and the other is Chas. So these two Jews. So Jessica has heard Sherlock telling these two of his friends and countrymen that instead of accepting 20 times the sum which I owe him, that means 3,000 ducats, into 20 means 60,000 ducats, but still insist on my having the pound of flesh of Antonio. So Jessica says if law, authority, and power refuses to accept his demand, it will be very difficult for Antonio. Portia, is it your dear friend that is thus in trouble? So Portia has been hearing the conversation, and naturally she is asking, is it your best friend who is in trouble? Bassanio, the dearest friend to me, the kindest man, the best conditioned and unwearied spirit in doing courtesies, and one in whom the ancient Roman honor more appears than any that draws breath in Italy. So Bassanio all praises for his best friend. He is my dearest friend. He is the kindest man. He is the best natured person, and he is never tired in doing good, in doing kind acts to others. He is the man in whom the Roman honors appears more than any man in Italy. Any man who lives in Italy. So what does the Roman honor mean? Roman honor, people were known for the words of honor and their gentlemanly conduct. So you won't find any living person as Roman as Antonio. Portia, what sum owes he the Jew? So Portia says, how much money does he owe to the Jew? Bassanio, for me, 3,000 ducats. Portia, what? No more? Pay him 6,000 and deface the bond. So Portia is a rich lady and she can afford to say, what, only 3,000? Give him 6,000 means double the amount and destroy the bond. Double 6,000, then triple, That's so double 6,000 means 12,000 and tripling means give him 36,000 ducats. Before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. So give him double and then treble it, and then give him before a friend like this who has risked his own life shall not lose even a hair from for Bassanio's fault. First go with me to church and call me wife, and then away to Venice to your friend. So for this, Bassanio has to get authority over Portia's property. So for this, he should get married to Portia. So Portia has suggested him that first let us go to church and get married, and then you leave for Venice immediately to save your friend. For never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. So I don't want that you should sleep beside me with a restless mind. Such a nice lady. You shall have gold to pay the petty debt 20 times over. So I'll give you gold to pay that small amount of money. 20 times, that means 3 into 20, so 60,000 ducats. I will give you in gold. When it is paid, bring your true friend along. My maid Nerissa and myself, meantime, will live as maids and widows. So, after you have saved him from Shylock by paying the money 20 times over, bring your best friend here. And in the meantime, what will we do? I and Nerissa, though we are both married, we won't live like married women, but will live as maids and widows do with a husband. Come away, for you shall hence upon your wedding day. So now you will go to your wedding day. Bid your friend welcome, welcome your friends, show a merry cheer. So at least since it is our wedding day, show yourself as a cheerful person. Be a little cheerful today in our wedding day. Since you are dear brought, I will love you dear, but let me hear the letter of your friend. So since your friend had brought you so dear, so paid so dearly for you, I will love you dearly. But let me hear the letter of your friend. But please read the letter. I want to hear it. Bassanio reads, Sweet Bassanio, my ships have all miscarried. My creditors grow cruel. My state it is very low. My bond to the Jew is forfeit. And since in paying it, it is impossible I should live, all debts are cleared between you and me. If I might but see you at my death, notwithstanding, use your pleasure. If your love do not persuade you to come, let not my letter. So this is a very touching letter. He says, My friend Bassanio, all my ships have got wrecked. My creditors are growing cruel. My state has become very low, and the bond which I had with the Jew has incurred a forfeiture. And in paying that forfeiture, it is not possible that I should live. A 1 pound of flesh from near to my heart, it is not possible that I will live. So all debts are cleared between you and I. You don't owe me anything because I am going to die. So everything that you have borrowed from me, they have become null and void. Only if I see you at my death. So use your pleasure. So if it pleases you, then you come. Otherwise, my love for you compels you to come. Then only you come. If my love for you makes you come, then only you come. Let not my letter not force you to come, because I have written in this letter asking you to come. Only come because you feel like my love for you makes you come. Then only you come. Portia. Oh love, dispatch all business and be gone. So once Bassanio reads the letter, Portia tells, Oh my love, leave all your business. What business? Getting married and getting authority over Portia's property. So finish all the business here and leave. Bassanio, since I have your good leave to go away, I will haste, but till I come again, no bed shall ever be guilty to of my stay, nor rest be interposer betwixt us twain. Since you have given me such kind permission to leave, I will do it in a hurry. I will go hurriedly till I come again. No bed shall ever be guilty of my stay, no rest be interposes betwixt us twain. So he says that till I come back, I assure you, I will not sleep in bed or make my absence longer, and neither will take any rest, come and separate you from me. So I will neither take any rest nor sleep in bed to prolong my absence from Belmont. That means as soon as possible I will finish my business there and come back to you. So this is the toughest scene in Merchant of Venice. So I had to make it in 3 parts, 3 videos for it. Otherwise, just think, if I had done it in one, then what boring it would have been. And I don't think I would have completed it since and would have completely seen it also. Just because I have made it in 3 parts, you watch the parts and then you enjoy with the meaning of each and every line of this Act 3 Scene 2. So I think I have explained it well, line by line explanation of each and every line of Act 3 Scene 2. So dear children, with this video, I have completed your Act 3 Scene 2 in 3 videos, Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. Do like, share and subscribe with your friends. Thank you.